of the opposition in the city of Cape Town, and we have the Chief Whip also, Comrade Thandi, with us. I don't have to tell you why we are here. I think that we have all been witness over the last 24 hours to an unconstitutional attempt to capture the city of Cape Town. The ANC was tempted yesterday to rush to comment, but we believe that it was more prudent of us to study the situation, watch the developments, examine all the legal and political aspects of the matter, and then to give our considered opinion and response this morning. And so in that spirit, I ask our Provincial Secretary, Comrade Faiz Jacob. I should not have assumed. I've been away for a while. I'm Ibrahim Rasool. I do many things, but in this capacity, I'm head of the ANC's election campaign in the Western Cape. So having gotten that out of the way, I want to ask Comrade Faiz Jacobs to read the official position of the ANC, and we will then follow it up with other comments from here before opening it up to all of you for questions. Comrade Faiz.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. ANC statement on the crisis in the city of Cape Town. The Democratic Alliance baffling attempt to axe Patricia de Lille as mayor of the city of Cape Town has plunged one of the country's biggest metros into an ever deeper crisis, with some 4 million residents already reeling from the DA's catastrophic mismanagement of the drought. Cape Town's local economy has taken a severe knock as the result of the water restrictions imposed by the DA administration, placing thousands of jobs at risk. Residents who have been doing their best to save water are being punished for their efforts and will now, according to the city's budget and by the DA's administration's own admission, will now have to pay 55% more for domestic water consumption. Let's say from the outset, it is entirely disingenuous for the DA to claim that Patricia de Lille is solely responsible for the city's woes. This washing of hands is a mind-boggling failure to take responsibility and account for the decisions taken by the DA caucus. The length to which the DA has gone to get rid of Mayor Patricia de Lille has shown up the party for what it really is: a racist, elitist party which aims to protect white privilege at the expense of African, colored, and Indian communities. The DA pretends to have the interests of all its members at heart, but is clearly using blacks, and when we say black, we broadly include African, colored, and Indians, to entrench colonial and apartheid privilege. Even DA leader Musi Manimani must now be doubting the action he has taken against de Lille, following the attacks that he has to endure after saying on Freedom Day that South Africans must confront white privilege and black poverty. The ANC commends Maimani for telling the truth, but he must also explain why he has not acted in equal measure against the Western Cape Premier, Helen Zille, who continues to insult black South Africans by justifying colonialism. The DA has once again shown its total disregard for the people of Cape Town with its anti-democratic, racist actions in the city. The DA's perpetual state of crisis is a major cause of governance failure in the city of Cape Town. Racism of the white bosses in the DA and the collusion of foreign business interests on various lucrative contracts, including the desalination contracts, is tearing the DA apart. DA members such as de Lille are being sacrificed at the altar for the DA to build a financial fund to fight the ANC. The evidence results of this crisis is that the city of Cape Town's draft budget presented in March was rejected by some DA members, trapping the critical functions of the city into its internal DA party political battles. More than 39,000 people also have rejected the city's budget, proposed budget. This on top of the failures of the DA-run city to spend its budget I think we've all known that there's under expenditure in the human settlement budget, while the people of Cape Town suffer homelessness, crime, water shortages, and failures of all other critical services, has caused a situation where communities find themselves at each other's throats. In Mitchell's Plain and Isikalo, for example, the proposed 55% increase in water tariffs, while still not delivering the water to the people, shows the callous and self-interest character of the DA. The ANC holds no brief for Patricia de Lille, but good governance and constitutional order is being undermined by the DA. As the ANC, we view the DA's de Lille clause as a violation of both the City Council independence and the executive mandate of elected officials as elected by the people of the City of Cape Town. De Lille and other councillors are deployed by their political party, but are ultimately elected by the citizens of Cape Town to the City Council. This point we want to emphasize. The DA cannot use public officials to do their dirty work. The ANC will protect good governance in the city and focus all political parties to work for the city and nothing else. The absence of Maimane at the press conference that announced de Lille's axing was very telling. This, on the heel of the spat between Maimane and Mazoni, shows the depth of the DA racial crisis. The ANC also supports all legal attempts to get to the bottom of fraud, forgery of the AG's signature on the fake news story about de Lille. All those involved, directly or indirectly, must be prosecuted. This kind of tactics is reminiscent of apartheid-style stratcom strategy that was used to fight political battles. Tony Leon must also answer for his role in this, as his company has the tender to run the communications in the city. As the ANC, we have asked all our councillors and the council of other parties to reject the de Lille clause from being ratified. The ANC supports constitutionality, the rule of law, and good governance, and will not allow the DA to undermine that they are using their party constitution that supersedes the council. We will put our weight behind the secret ballot for a free voice of democracy and the protection of all those who want to exercise their democratic right within council. We have received reports of intimidation tactics by the DA on its councillors who have voted against these unconstitutional tactics on the mayor. And we want those public representatives to be free to vote with their conscience. The ANC is prepared to petition the national government to bring an end to this circus. And in this regard, where the crisis persists, we will ask national government through the Department of Local Government and Cooperative Affairs, COCTA, to put the City of Cape Town under administration for the following reasons. Party divisions on the city budget threatens stability and also possibility of the failing to pass a budget in the City of Cape Town. The under expenditure of close to 2.1 billion rand. The racial polarization resulting from this DA caucus that is dividing our people's representatives based on racial lines, which inevitably divides our people and also exacerbate the crisis of service delivery and on the Cape Flats. Instability in the Mako caused by this DA internal divisions. Conclusion. If it's easy for the DA to purge a leader such as Patricia de Lille, who gave them a 2/3 majority vote in the city, what does it say about the DA's ease with which it purges its ordinary members? The DA has made communities who have voted for them indispensable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Faiz, and I ask Comrade Kolani Sotashi to update us with what is happening from the ANC side in the City of Cape Town.
No, thank you very much, Comrade Ib. Thanks, Comrade PS, for reading the statement on our behalf as ANC. Look, I think what we can term in terms of what is happening in the city of Cape Town. It's a kind of an alternative power matrix where rogue officials within the city are actually taking over the city of Cape Town illegally. Why do I say so? This is a manufactured chaos. You have individuals who are not part and parcel of the city establishment in terms of the administration itself, but they do interfere in the affairs of the city of Cape Town. In this regard, I'm referring to the leader of the opposition, that is Musi Maimane. Musi is in possession of the confidential information of the city of Cape Town. That does not belong to him. That does not belong to the party. The DA, as a party, publicized a restricted information of Cape Town without the consent of the city of Cape Town. That is in violation of the Cooperative Governance Act. So what we need to do then, we are calling on the national minister to consider these serious issues that we are raising. Secondly, we know for a fact that the issue of Lille being removed from her position is not about her performance as the mayor of Cape Town. There is a bigger picture here. We want to bring to the attention of national government to investigate the city of Cape Town, this manipulation of water crisis within the city of Cape Town, and the pre-selection of a company outside of South Africa to build the desalination plants here in Cape Town. So these are the very important issues, because we do have information that when we connected the dots, that this company projected the cost of 6 billion rand. In return, the DA will receive over 600 million rand for their election machinery for next year's elections. So these are the serious issues that national government must really zoom in and investigate. Because even if you look at the draft budget now, the city of Cape Town in that draft budget is proposing over 19 billion rands for the next 5 years, which the 9.7 billion rand is for capital projects, and 9.1 billion rand is for operating budget. Now, you look at where does the chunk of this 19 billion rand goes to? It goes to water plants. We do know now, we are confident about that information. We do know that now the companies from Israel are putting pressure on the city of Cape Town to deliver on their promise, because the leader of the Democratic Alliance till to date has not explained to citizens of South Africa what was of his visit to Israel and met Benjamin Netanyahu. And now the revelation of these things that are taking place in the city of Cape Town are speaking to this issue of his visit to Israel. The other issue that I want to raise here, that really it must be brought to the attention of national. Hence, I think the PS of the ANC is correct to say that the city of Cape Town must be put under administration. The violation of the Security Act of South Africa, where one of these rogue officials, that is JP Smith, has actually gone beyond his mandate in terms of using the SIU to investigate even some of the DA councillors for their own party political affairs. So they, without even getting a consent from the National Minister of State Security. So these are the very serious issues that we believe as ANC must be brought to the attention of the Democratic Alliance. The last point that I want to raise, at least now we can confirm that IEC has not declared a vacancy in the city of Cape Town. Now, the question is, here is the deputy mayor that has violated the Electoral Act, because it's only the IEC that can declare the vacancy, not any other person, including the president himself. Here is the deputy mayor of the city of Cape Town issuing a statement saying that there is a vacancy in the city of Cape Town. He has assumed a position of being an acting mayor in the city of Cape Town. The mayor of city of Cape Town has been dissolved with immediate effect. So the only people that are guiding in terms of the political direction in the city of Cape Town, it's himself and the speaker. So we have a concern. The minister must come to the fore and look at this particular issue, whether it was correct for the deputy mayor of Cape Town to make such a statement and also act it. As we speak now, I saw one of the MACO members yesterday. That person showed me a letter coming from the acting mayor that you are no longer a MACO member. The last point is the speaker. Both the deputy mayor and the speaker, they acted illegal. The speaker wrote to all of us as councillors that there is a vacancy declared by IEC, and he wrote to the mayor to bring back all the, city properties, because she's no longer now belonging to the city of Cape Town. So what we are saying is the ANC here, you are actually seeing now a situation where this manufactured chaos is reaching a boiling point. They are creating a chaos where people would think that really there is a serious crisis in the city of Cape Town. But on the other hand, they know exactly what they want to achieve. The interference of the party officials in the affairs of government. Because what you see in Cape Town is the state versus the party. The issue of my man giving instructions to the councillors of the city of Cape Town to remove powers from Lille around issues of water plans. Lille had no say in terms of what must happen about the water crisis in Cape Town, because Mosi gave those instructions. So we strongly believe that we have a case here. One, I think the ANC must consider opening up a case as a matter of agent against Musimaiman, because this fellow has actually not only interfered in the affairs of the city, but he has actually breached each and every piece of legislation in terms of cooperative governance. So those are the issues I thought that we must really flag up. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Leader of the Opposition in the city, Kholani Sotashe, and I ask the input from our national ANC body through Comrade Zizi Kodwa.
Thank you very much, Comrade Rasool. It is not an exaggeration that the wheels are coming off. The DA wheels are coming off. What we see and what we saw happening to Patricia de Lille, it is, in our view, a Sunday picnic. It's a Sunday picnic. There's a lot that is yet to come. A real implosion of DA is coming. And I think that implosion, among others, signifies the fact that there's been a lot of unhappiness about many people at DA, but their views, a dissenting voice that has been suppressed for a very long time. And that voice is beginning to be impatient. And that voice, over a period of time, that's why I refer to what you saw and what you see now is just a picnic. There's a more that you will see, what I call an implosion, a real implosion. That implosion may have different reasons to it. The first reason being that, firstly, the Democratic Alliance, for a longest time, it has created a false impression of itself, of what it is, by parachuting and actually anointing leaders above those that have got a track record in the alliance. And I think, secondly, there is a strong right-wing conservative voice that has been suppressed and displaced because of that parachuting and creating a false impression. It is that falsehood that is coming back to haunt the Democratic Alliance at the moment, because now that right-wing conservative is consolidating. They are fighting for what they term to be theirs. They are fighting back. They want to claim what is theirs. So these are the issues that, unfortunately, you cannot manage, because what they've done over the period of time was to do what is called race relations management. They don't believe in non-racialism, but was to manage racial relations, and it's now imploding. That's why I'm talking about implosion that is coming. And I think we have noted a number of things. Of course, One of them, the issues that are raised by comrades here, including in the municipality. We cannot allow a situation where the municipality, such a crown jewel, such as the city of Cape Town, an important metro with 4 million inhabitants, that is run like an underworld. And if there is issues about that, you would know that in the past, at a national level, the African National Congress, through its government, has even intervened in a number of municipalities that are run by the ANC. Some of them were taken then under administration. Some of them were had to rearrange in terms of what had transpired in those municipalities for one reason and one reason only, because of leadership instability. So it has nothing to do with opposition or not. If you look at a record throughout the country, we had to take under administration a number of municipalities that are run by the ANC, because ours is not about who runs that municipality, it's about services to the people. If a municipality cannot carry and fulfill its mandate to give service to the people because of wrangling, infighting, which is here, you still have going to see more of that infighting. But importantly to us is, what is the strategic task of the African National Congress in that context? The strategic task of the ANC is to regain trust of the people of Cape Town and the people of Western Cape. And whether what we see now in the Democratic Alliance is one way or another a leapfrog for the African National Congress. The African National Congress has always been ready. We are ready to take over the city. We are ready to take over the province. We have no doubt about it. The power shift we saw in 2006, it was not precipitated on the strength of the opposition. It was precipitated on the weakness, in terms of subjective weakness of the ANC. And we are about to correct, we are correcting that. And I think it's important to note that with all what is happening in the city, we're going to see a lot of implosion of Democratic Alliance. The African National Congress must come in and restore and regain trust of the people and provide leadership. Hence, we have this. I mean, some of the claims and lies that have been peddled are quite shocking by senior people who are in senior positions like acting mayors. We were told yesterday throughout the media that there is a vacancy declared. We can also confirm that there's no such a vacancy declared by IEC. So if a council is run like an underworld like that, it means what we are beginning to see is an implosion that I think people of Cape Town have not been aware that they have been run by an underworld for a very long time. And I think that is beginning, and I think those contradictions themselves will show up. And I think it's important that at this level, we must focus on our ability as African National Congress, regain trust, work hard, be on the ground, but will not allow a city capture to be captured by a group of people who don't have any other interest except their own interest. If it means to engage other parties about creating stability, the African National Congress interest is to bring normalcy and stability to the municipality so that it must deliver on its constitutional mandate to the people of Western Cape, of Cape Town, particularly the poor who have suffered a lot. And I think for them, they are looking forward to a resolution of a stable municipality that can address issues of Skalo, that can address issues of people of Taiwan, can address issues of people of Nkani, Side C, Side B, and everywhere else. These are the people who are looking at this leadership and say, we want hope at the end of the day. And I don't think what is happening in the city at the moment gives hope to these people who are facing difficulties. And that's why I think the call to take any administration, any council under administration, it must be in the interest of enhancing services, particularly to the people and the poor.
Thank you very much, Comrade Kodwa. So in a few seconds to crystallize what the ANC is saying, the ANC is saying that there is an unconstitutional takeover and capture of the city of Cape Town by a factionalized, if not racialized, cabal within the DA. Secondly, we therefore support moves to an interdict to stop this from happening because it is based on lies, forged signatures of the AG, and false information about a vacancy. Secondly, we are saying that Mmusi Maimane has effectively made the case for administration when he himself put the city under administration and he came in to act as the mayor and the municipal manager through the water crisis. And he's made the case for administration at that point. And what we are seeing is the conflation of party and state and the remote control of deployees within the city and moving them around like checkers pieces on a board. This has led the internal crisis of the DA has resulted in an external crisis for the people of Cape Town, and therefore it has to be resolved. And the way in which the ANC in the Western Cape is saying it can be resolved is to do what Musi Maimane has done, put them under administration, but this time by the national government, because of the impending danger in the budget, as Comrade Faiz had said, because of the evidence of under-expenditure, when people are fighting each other in Scottsdene, in Kanini, in Sikalo and Mitchell's Plain and Vrygrond. If they're fighting each other over services and you don't spend 2.1 billion for services, you don't deserve to be the government of Cape Town. And therefore I think ultimately what the DA has done, besides imploding themselves, they have exploded the myth that where they govern, there is the best run city and the best run province. They have proven that that is certainly not the case, and therefore we are ready to do the hard work of regaining the trust of the people of the Western Cape. But we think that we need to do that with a city that does not endanger their lives fundamentally as it has been done so far. We're open for some questions from your side. I don't know many of you, so please say who you are and then.
Thank you. Rebecca from Daily Maverick. Just two quick questions. Last weekend, the Sunday newspaper reported that when Cyril Ramaphosa came to Cape Town to walk from Khayelitsha to Athlone, he held meetings on that day with both Patricia de Lille and Leonard Max in the hope of persuading them to join the ANC. Do you have any comment on that? And my second question is for Kolani. When you say that the DA publicized restricted info about the city of Cape Town without permission, could you clarify what information you're talking about? Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to ask Faiz, I think, who walked with President Ramaphosa, whether he saw any such meeting take place, and then I'll ask Kolani to respond directly to that question. But let's keep it short and sharp.
Just, we walked actually from Guguletu to Athlone, and we welcome everybody to walk with the president. We didn't see Patricia de Lille or...
So the meetings were not on the walk,
Oh, okay.
They were just on the same day?
No. I mean, the president immediately after the walk went into a cabinet meeting. According to our knowledge, there was no such meeting.
But I do want to not allow an assumption to take place that what is happening is as a result of the president meeting anyone. We are not in the business of enticing anyone to the ANC, because we are in the business of ensuring stable, good governance in the city, and it would not help our cause if there was a walkover from the mayor to the ANC. She has a job, and she must be allowed to do that job.
Well, the restricted information that I'm talking about, you are aware that the city of Cape Town appointed a company to investigate the maladministration and corruption within the city. It is referred to the Bowman report. And this is the information that I'm talking about, that Musi was not privy to that information. After numerous calls were made to him by certain journalists to find out how did he get the access to the information, till to date, he has not told the people of Cape Town how he got that information. That was the confidential information only for councillors in the city of Cape Town, nobody else. And that's why I was saying that National must investigate this, because you can't allow thieves to investigate themselves.
Thank you very much. I see a second and a third and a fourth hand.
Mr. Rasool, just Jason Felix from the Cape Argus, I just want to relation to the question that Eka asked about the mayor. Surely we know that the mayor brings a lot of capability, and she's a struggle hero, if I can call it that. Is the ANC not trying to entice her? Because number one, if the elections comes next year and she is part of the ANC, she will do some serious damage to the DA. I mean, no one can dispute that. Not even you yourself sitting there can dispute that. Surely there must be some sort of meetings going on to try and entice Mr. Love to come over. Because if I was in your position, that is exactly what I would have done.
Maybe we are not opportunists.
I'm from Network Philippines and Burger. I wanted to hear Mr. Satoshi mention the possibility of laying charges or complaints against Mr. Maimane. What kind of charges would would you be looking at? Would it be, criminal or against him as an LP or MP?
Thank you very much. I saw number.
Monique Mortlock from Eyewitness News. Mr. Jacobs said that the ANC would be in support of a secret ballot when council sits to elect a new mayor. Does the ANC have a specific candidate in mind or a suitable candidate to be the next Cape Town mayor?
Yeah. Okay. Is there another hand?
Paul Herman from News 24. I'd just like to ask, in the ANC's mind, who then is currently mayor of the city? Is it all pending the supposed ruling of the urgent court matter on Friday?
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll respond from this side. Do you want to?
Yeah.
It's when in doubt, keep left.
Well, the ANC does not entice. The people join the African National Congress voluntarily because of the supremacy of its ideas and policies. And I think that's why in the articulation of our non-racial policy, we have seen South Africans across, particularly white Democrats who in the past decided to join the ANC based on the articulation of the policy of non-racialism, which is founded both in the struggle and in death. So we won't entice anybody, but of course, she's elderly. She's got a right to join and make a choice politically, whether she would want to join the African National Congress on the basis of the supremacy of the policies, whether ideologically and politically. She can associate herself with the African National Congress. But we haven't, as the African National Congress, met and discussed with her that she must come to the African. She will make that decision voluntarily. We are in the business as mandated in terms of the strategic objective of the ANC. And if in the pursuit of that objective, she thinks that she's got a role to play, of course, anybody is welcome to join the African National Congress.
But we will not make the mistake of making the case for the DA that she is in conversation with us, because she is not. They want such an admission in order to strengthen their coup d'etat that they are busy with.
Okay, as a secretary, I always welcome any membership forms who abide by our constitutional principles. We want to grow the organization.
He's desperate for every 20 rand.
On a lighter note, I think, let me respond to the secret ballot. I think what we are seeing now is that there's a lot of bullying and intimidation tactics that's happening in the city of Cape Town. We want to ensure that there's constitutionality and people vote with their conscience. So I think that's why we support this process, because we want the prevention of bullying around this thing. I think there is a popular mandate in the city of Cape Town, and like we say, we don't want this thing to be factionalized or racialized. We need good governance there, and so the city representatives must have their voice to articulate the views that they have.
Sutash?
Well, the case against Musi, I mean, as I indicated earlier, that he's in possession of confidential information. So the case that we are going to lay against him, it's a management of Information Act, because he has violated that. So the courts must be able to really make a decision on that.
Can I just add to the issue of secret ballot? The secret ballot is not for the election of a mayor. The secret ballot is if the DA is really intent on getting rid of Patricia de Lille, you can't use the DA constitution, use the South African constitution. Secondly, the South African constitution says you've lost confidence in your cadre. Now come and test it with the people who elected her in the first place, which are the representatives of the people in council. Bring it there. Now we know that they faced a reverse already. They are afraid of that. That's why they want to find a route to get rid of Patricia de Lille without referring it to council. And key to that is the secret ballot. So it is not that we want to elect a new mayor, because there is a mayor in place. As far as we are concerned, Patricia de Lille is the mayor of Cape Town until the IEC declares otherwise. There is no election for a new mayor, but if you want to get rid of the existing one, come there, put a secret ballot in place and cast a vote of no confidence, and then we will see, and that's the political work that the ANC will do in defense of good governance, the rule of law and constitutionality that must be applied. You can't have a party diktat based on one amendment to your constitution, to use us to do your dirty work. We may have our problems with Patricia de Lille, but we will deal with it in time and in constitutional ways. Are there a last round of questions? Okay, Paul, you'll be second because you've had a bite at it.
Yes, Anil, I feel sorry. Just maybe Comrade Sotash can answer this one. I'm just concerned about service delivery. Is there any tangible evidence at this present moment as to how service delivery, this whole thing that is happening right now, is affecting service delivery on the ground? Thank you.
Paul?
Just one question. We mentioned the DA's recall clause, but in the end, that actually wasn't even the clause they used to remove her. They used some other clause which she supposedly said something on a radio interview that she would be resigning. Does the ANC have any comment on that issue, in that the actual recall clause wasn't even used? This could be a party matter, but just your thoughts on that question.
Sotash?
Yeah, no, look, I'm glad that you call me a comrade. No, look, I mean, I was with you in Khayelitsha. I mean, this is a classic example. I was with you in Khayelitsha where 8 people lost their lives. Did you see the city of Cape Town there? They were not there. People were not there. I mean, officials that's supposed to be helping those families that have experienced the fires there. So we had to chip in. As we speak now, the officials in the city of Cape Town are confused who to report to. And the second clear example is the issue of Isikalo. There was a fight between Mitchell's Plain people and Isikalo people. Did you see the city of Cape Town there? They were not there. We had to chip in. The issue of service delivery is being compromised by instability in the city of Cape Town. So you don't have to do all these things in order for you to be placed under administration. Once you do one of it that have a serious negative impact on the service delivery, then national government must chip in and really provide a leadership. I mean, the issue of the refuse removal, we had to instruct the city manager to give instruction to EDs so that the refuse can be removed in the Helderberg area. You go there and then you see the canals. They are filthy, they are blocked. So this issue of the two-tailed city is coming to the fore now. People didn't want to believe, but it is there now. You saw what you saw in Khayelitsha. You saw what you saw in the Helderberg. You saw what you saw in Mitchell's Plain. So this whole issue of instability is really affecting the service delivery. And there is a serious uncertainty within the administration in terms of the staff itself, because the mood is really affected. People are not geared up to bring services to our people. Thanks.
Maybe if I can just also add, there's a service delivery crisis and a governance crisis in the city of Cape Town. And I think we've picked it up. 1.2 billion rand that was not spent, that was meant for infrastructure development, that was meant for overcrowding, that was meant to deal with informal settlement, that was meant for services, have not been spent. That is a crime. Because national government has given money allocated to the city. It's not as if the city don't have informal settlements. We have more than 400 informal settlements. What's the plan for that? Now, if a city who's claimed to have good governance would take the people, take the overcrowding of Heideveld or the informal settlements of our townships, if they would have implemented the plan, that 2.1 billion has been spent. But they're not focusing on dealing with the service problems. They're focusing on the internal factional politics that they have. They're not dealing with the governance that we have. So we're seeing our communities despair, and what you had, the sporadic incidents of service delivery protests, whether it's at Vrygrond, whether it's at Carlo, whether it's in Scottsdene, whether it's in Guguletu, people are angry, people are frustrated, and there's a sense of despair and hopelessness because there's no political leadership. There's no administrative leadership, there's no plans. Instead, they have the audacity to exacerbate the tariffs, they increase the tariffs. So they collect more and more money from the poor, predominantly poor, but there's no plan to deal with the service delivery because of this factional fighting. So I think it's very clear everywhere we go, we as the ANC have to do firefighting. We not in government, we effective opposition. The water mismanagement is a classical example. They knew they had to have water plans for a long time. Instead of dealing with the issues up front, they're looking at creating an economic benefit for themselves through the desalination plant. There was no plan. And now again, because of their ineptitude, we as the people of Cape Town have to double. We have to pay more now because of our saving and because of their incompetence.
Just in addition on what Comrade Faiz has said, I mean, now our financial year ends next month on the 30th of June. As we speak now, on top of 175 million rand that has been brought back to Treasury, and Treasury had to reallocate those funds to performing municipalities on urban settlement development grant, there is an available 780 million rands that must be spent between now and the 30th of June. Tell me, if you couldn't spend that 780 million rand in the past 9 months, how on earth you are going to spend it within a few weeks? So this is a crisis that you are having in the city of Cape Town, and there is a trend of underspending on capital projects. And AG also has raised that particular concern with the city of Cape Town.
On the clauses, I think that the DA is clutching at straws. They are looking for anything that will solve their internal problem. They created the Lille clause. They then realized maybe if we use the Lille clause, we must go through the council. We can't afford that because we lost the vote the last time. If we use ordinary disciplinary actions, then maybe the litany of allegations we make in a public disciplinary will implode the idea that we are the best governed city and will expose us as corrupt and ineffective. So let's close the DC because we can't afford that. And so now they've used another clause that she supposedly said something on radio. She effectively self-resigned, and now all we need to do is to get her out of the office. All they need at this moment is not any clause in their constitution. They need Santa Claus to deliver peace for them in their municipalities. That really is the only salvation for the DA at this moment. But I want to give the final word to Zizi Kodwa, and then I think we can all get on and not give you too much editing.
I think we shouldn't allow a situation where we compromise service delivery, good governance, because there's a party that is mutilating itself somewhere. It's mutilating itself unprovoked into pieces. And I think we shouldn't allow that. The African National Congress has got a responsibility given by the people of this country since 1994 to make sure that it governs with loyalty, with trust. And I think whatever would have happened in the past, we should, the African National Congress, remain that hope to the millions of people of Cape Town, to the millions of people of Western Cape. And therefore, let's allow DA to mutilate itself outside, not use our government, the city itself, to make sure that it damages the prospects of poor people who are looking up to a democratically elected local government and provincial and national government for their better future. And I think for today, it's a lesson, particularly for DA, that the false impression they've created all along for the longest time about themselves is coming back to haunt them. The very strong conservative right wing, it is strongly consolidating against what they've been displaced for a very long time. And I think they are fighting for what I said earlier. The right-wing conservative, they are fighting what is called theirs, because they've been displaced for a very long time by imposition of leaders above those, according to them, who do not deserve to be leaders. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Let me go back.
Yeah, let's go back. Yonela, you can circulate.
Well, if you have just tuned in, that is the wrap-up of the ANC briefing as it responds to the DA's cessation of Patricia de Lille's membership from the party, as well as now issues around the city of Cape Town, the governance and her position as mayor in the city.